All right. So I'm here with Jon Barnard and this is Todd Atkins, and John's fighting on Friday in Bare Knuckle FC. And so we're going to get into talking about that. And before we start, just check out my sponsor, Live to Fight Design. Use my promo code Todd Atkins, you get $20 off your order. They make fight banners and gym banners. Maybe they can make a banner for you, John.
I know, right? I was just thinking about that because I didn't actually create a banner for this actual fight. I was going to, but things moved really quickly, so I didn't really have time to really get into the weeds like I would normally for most of my fights. I'm really business oriented, and I normally rack up a handful of sponsors and do all that kind of good stuff. But this fight, I was like, you know what? It's my first fight back after a long time. Let's just focus on the training. Let's just focus on getting my mind in a good place and my body in a good place. So yeah, crazy.
So you're heading over there tomorrow?
Yeah, so I'll be driving out tomorrow. We're gonna do all our PR stuff tomorrow. Media, photo shoots, like I guess basically the interviews and all that kind of stuff, so they can kind of run the story behind the fight and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. Mhm.
You'll see the MMA detective there. He's working that show.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, MMA detective.
He used to be on my show quite a bit, but he's kind of been doing a lot of
Busy.
work for BKFC and some other shows, so
That's awesome.
he can't be as
That's what's good.
controversial.
Mm.
So tell me kind of, because last time I talked to you, it didn't seem like you had any interest in doing any fights. You hadn't fought in years and years. So
Yeah.
why did this come up? Why did you decide you wanted to do it first off? And then how did
So
you pull getting into BKFC? Maybe answer like, why did you want to do it first off? How'd that come
mhm.
about? And then how did BKFC come about?
All right. So I've kind of stepped away from fighting and all that good stuff to kind of set a good foundation for my children, and that would be finishing my school, kickstarting my career in IT as an IT professional, and then once I was able to buy a home and establish a good financial foundation for my family and myself, I then decided like I felt like I was missing something, like I got all the things that I wanted in life, but something was still missing in my life. I still felt a little emptiness in regards to my day to day. So it's like a repetitive, just the same thing every day. And when I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina about a year and a half ago. And I figured maybe it's because I'm not working out or training or something, because I stopped training for a long time. And then I was, you know what, let me try and get back into a gym. So I scoured Charlotte, North Carolina, trying to find all kinds of gyms, and I found the gym. And then I started working out there, and then eventually I became a coach there, and then became the manager of this gym, Top Tiger Team Boxing in Charlotte, North Carolina. I kicked it off with the owner, and great dude. And then we started, so other gyms started closing around, and then fighters and other gyms started coming to our gym because we are pretty much the only gym left that was actually coaching real boxing, and just the martial arts and boxing vibe was there, so we started, so this one family, this Hispanic family, started to come and train in the gym, and they actually was fighting at all these events. And so that kind of kick started the desire. And then this female came into the gym, and she wanted to fight. This is a one of my friends, a really close friend of mine. Her name is Andrea Carter, and she wanted to work out, and she's an ESPN reporter, and she wanted to work out and fight. And I was like, she came in there, and my coach was like, or the owner of the gym was like, you look like a fighter. She's a basketball player, Division 1 basketball player, female basketball player. And then she's like, she wants to fight, and she's like, well, you think I could fight? I was like, let's see. Let me train you and see where you're at. And I seen her desire to want to pursue this art, and I started coaching her. I coached her for 3 months, and I took her to I think it was Golden Gloves Jacksonville Nationals, and she won the Golden Gloves boxing tournament out there. She won in two weight classes, and that is what got me back. It was like, damn, this is what I'm missing. I got to corner her, I coached her, I did like everything from the ground up with this person, and she did phenomenal. It reminded me of myself when I started going through the ranks in Hawaii, and I was like, That's what is missing. And I reached out to one of these guys named Daryl, and he's managing and just trying to find fighters. And I was like, you know what, let me just hit up this guys, because I've been reaching out to a lot of promoters out here, and they really wanted to give me a chance. Like, it was weird. Like, I reached out to a lot of promoters, and I'm telling them, like, if you guys get me on a card, I'm telling you guys right now, you guys will not regret it. Like, I'm trying to convince these guys of my worth as a fighter. And just they just like, I don't know you. You ain't nobody. And so nobody wanted to give me that chance. You know what I mean? And so I hit up this guy named Daryl. He ended up getting me a BKFC match right off the jump. Like, he's like, yeah, I can get you a match. Boom. He called up BKFC. He's like, hey, we got this guy, blah, blah, blah. He got all these championship titles. He got this much fights. And boom, got me a fight like that. I was like, perfect. So it was a perfect timing. It was a good season. I was working out, met some great people, got a good foundation here now. Sold a bunch of tickets for my fight as well. So people are traveling an hour and a half to watch me fight. Plus, we got my backing and support at Hawaii as well. So, all of those things kind of fell into my lap, and I'm just ready to go. I got all some of my sponsors back, and it was just a perfect timing. Everything just aligned perfectly.
Yeah, I know Daryl. I've had him on my
Yeah.
show a couple times. I
Oh,
think he
nice, nice.
manages Marcel Tiger's son and
Oh,
some
really?
other guys. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we're
I
we're
think his
running.
last
We're
name's Hatchet.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know him.
Yeah. So we're working it. We're working with each other on this fight, and we'll see how everything rolls out. Folds out, and we'll see what we do next. Yeah.
So, how many years has it been since your last fight?
I think, to be honest, I think it's been. Who did I fight? I fought Tony the Tiger and the Blaisdell. I think that was like 7 to 9 years ago. To be honest, it's been a minute,
Yeah.
man. It's been a while. Yeah. But I feel like I
So,
haven't missed a beat, but I need to get back in that ring to really find out if I did it or not. So mhm.
and you're wanting to do, I mean, bare knuckles a bit different than even MMA. So,
It is, but if you look at the way that I box, like, I know I take a lot of shots and stuff like that, the MMA scene, or even in anything, all my fights, like, I feel like I've been blessed with a pretty decent chin, should I say, and I like striking, you know what I mean? And I don't think Knuckles is gonna feel any. I don't know. I'm trying to try to wrap my head around how much of a difference is bare knuckle to kickboxing with MMA gloves. I've done that. I've done it a few times. Was it called the MXC or something like that in Miami on one of I forgot the guy's name, but Shaquille O'Neal was there, and I've done those types of matches. So I'm like, is it that different? I don't know. We'll find out. You know what I mean?
Chris Lieben said there's a big difference because he said really he felt like the MMA glove to no glove was worse than boxing glove to MMA glove.
So he's saying MMA gloves is worse.
Yeah, going from an MMA glove to no glove is almost harder. He felt like than going from a boxing glove to an MMA glove. He felt like
Ah,
punches that would normally land for him would not.
yeah, because I feel like Chris Lieben is not a good boxer. Not to take away, like, he's a good MMA boxer, and this is a boxing fight. And the other thing is, we from Hawaii. We street fight boxing. We really technical about our shots. We know how to throw our punches over. We grew up fighting, like, street fight, not like the thing that I learned about the mainland is they don't fight like the Hawaiians fight. No way. Like, we will toe to toe. We will pick our shots. We're throwing nice, clean shots. We're not just freaking swinging head down. You know what I mean? In Hawaii, you learn how to box even on the street. So I feel like there's a lot of transferability there in the way that Hawaiians box, and street fight and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be a big change for me. I definitely tightened up my technique a little bit, and although, like, a lot of my sparring was just really intense, trying to get my cardio up and my dog out, basically, and that's basically where most of my training kind of relies on the boxing side of things. And then I was training with Tony Loco Soto as well, who is the main event of that card, and we've been working some really good technical drills to help me with the actual art, because he's been doing it for a while. He knows the art. He's undefeated, obviously, and he's headlining this card. So I got some really good some support and knowledge and wisdom from him, from a guy named Ryan Jett, from a guy named Trucker. Like, all of these guys are bare knuckle boxers. and they've done a few, and they're kind of passing on the knowledge and wisdom that they've gained and obtained through the years of their career. So I learned a lot of cool things, and I think this is going to be a place that I can call home, honestly. I genuinely feel like this is going to be a place that I can call home. I've been scouting out the 135ers, and I'm like, ooh, this looks fun. You know what I mean? Hmm.
I think one thing Chris did really well though was he's really good at,
The Thai plum.
yeah, he's got a strong grip.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah,
I think he had 4 fights, he won 3 of them, and they were all from that position.
the Thai clinch. Yeah.
Right.
So, but if you can get if you got good boxing, light on the feet, you got good head movement and stuff like that. I think you can kind of outbox those kind of guys. And I think that's honestly probably the closest person that this guy that I'm fighting could replicate. This guy is really slow. He's a tank, I would say. He's a tank in regards to the amount of damage he can take. I don't think his chin is strong, but I do definitely think that he can take damage. But if I can touch him the way that his last match, that Allen guy did, then I think I should be able to just put this guy away pretty easily. Yeah, I'm gonna try to hit and not get hit this fight. You guys are gonna see a different version of myself that most people don't get to see. Um, what Falanico Vitali calls me is the Matrix. So he said he's excited to see the Matrix, and I'm gonna try to bring that Matrix guy out again, and see how this works.
Now, how were you preparing for it any differently than you were doing for MMA?
Um, yeah, well, I'm not focusing on ground at all. I'm not doing kicking. Well, I do kicking just to strengthen my legs and kind of get my leg conditioning. I think one of the things that I've learned over the years and watching a lot of boxing and kickboxing and all that kind of stuff is when people get rocked, the first thing that goes is what? Their legs. Their legs get jello, and I feel like adding a little bit of kickboxing to my boxing regimen really helps me to strengthen my legs and get it really uh what's it called, just bringing the endurance of my legs up, so that when I do take a shot, or when it is in deep, when I'm in deep waters, I can sustain myself and keep myself up. And then I did a lot of core workout this year, this fight. The only thing that I wish that I'd done better was not take a fight at 155, because I'm having to gain weight to get to this 55. I'm right now I'm walking around like 150 to like 145-ish, like around there. And then now I'm trying to eat so I can get up to 155, so that I don't know if there's like a weight cap. I don't know how South Carolina runs their commission. So I'm trying to get as close as I can to 155, so that I'm not out of the range to where I could fight him. I'm not sure if they have a cap, like, hey, you can't be this much, away from him, or whatever the case may be. So I'm trying to gain weight so I can get there. But in return, I have to give up a lot of my like the cut. Like, I'm a 35er, right? My body is a 35, at least 125 to 135. So me coming up to this weight is probably not the best thing, but I honestly, with this fighter, I think it's not a big deal. I fought guys much heavier than him before. So yeah, it's my first fight back. I think this would be a great one, for me. Yeah.
Now, how were you doing as far as like sparring or anything? What were you
Oh, I'm
sparring with?
sparring. I'm sparring with boxing gloves, only boxing gloves. The boxing scene, there's not much fighters that wants to fight with MMA gloves or shuto gloves. I wish there were. Right now, there's not much seasoned boxers that feel comfortable doing that kind of sparring. But I did, like I said, I did work with Ryan Jet Trucker, Tony Loco Soto as well, Tony Soto, and we've worked kind of shadow boxing and real technical light sparring with just wraps and stuff like that, just to kind of get the Thai plum together, tie that together with strikes and mixing it up and stuff. But primary boxing mitts with some, with bare knuckles as well. I'm hitting the bag with bare knuckles just to build up build up the strength and all that kind of stuff with my knuckles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting because it is still a little bit, guys are not sure how to prepare. They're kind of asking each other what they're doing. Some guys are hitting sand. Some
Yeah, I'm
guys
not doing none of that.
yeah.
You
Chris
know.
was taping his hands with duct tape, to hit the bag and stuff,
Mm,
like with things like that, or
Right.
putting
And
wraps over it.
I was I was thinking of that. I've been seeing a lot of fighters doing stuff like that, right? But what I remembered is back in the days, when we're fighting in Hawaii, we never did that crap. We just hit, mitts with gloves, and when it came down to a street fight, whatever we practice with our gloves is what we practice in the real deal, and so um, yeah, I was just asking, like, I don't think as much. The only difference is probably we're punching a little. I'm punching. My technique is much better when I was a kid, when I used to street fight and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't see a huge difference. The only thing is the contact. I think practicing contact with the main two knuckles is something that a lot of fighters need to learn. I watched a lot of BKFC matches, and a lot of the guys, they're like punching with these knuckles here, the front of their hand, and I think that's where it's causing a lot of their hurt injuries and stuff like that, because they're not contacting with these two knuckles. If anything should be hurt is these two knuckles, right? But these two, the two on the far right is probably what gets broken the most and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm thinking is just practice contact, rather than trying to build up tolerance, I guess. You know what I mean? Because MMA, you punch, that stuff hurts. You know what I mean? It can hurt your wrists, it can hurt your hand, it can hurt your knuckles as well. So yeah, I don't have any specialty yet. Just contact, I guess, contact placement, knowing where to punch. Some parts of the head is very tough. This guy got a big head, so his whole head is all hard. So I got to be really tactical and just pick all my shots and really put these knuckles on his button in every area.
Yeah, I talked to DeMarcus Corley too. He fought Floyd Mayweather and Cotto and all these guys. But he was saying when he fought Reggie Barnett in bare knuckle, it's kind of like it was a different mentality because you only got 2 minutes. They start you kind of in the middle of the ring,
Yeah,
right next to each. So he said he just went right at the guy. Like he didn't really do much boxing, even though he was a boxer. He didn't like use his movement or
yeah.
because you got to get stuff done pretty quick. You only got 2 minutes.
Mhm. Yeah. And I'm wondering, I probably got to figure out what's the judging criteria, like what they're looking for. I think that's something that I still got to figure out, and talk to some judges and be like, hey, what are, or talk to some of the officials and find out, like, what are their criteria? What are they looking for? They're looking at effective damage. Once I kind of get that figured out, then I can adjust my skill and my style and all of those things to fit what they need, right? And then I can, but overall, I think I'm definitely going to still be that entertaining fighter that most people see. I think my style of boxing and fighting in general is perfect for this sport. Like genuinely perfect. I can slug if I need to. I can box when I need to. I can move my head when I need to. So I think I'll be okay. Yeah.
It's just interesting to see like guys that haven't done it before and kind of what they're thinking of, as far as how they're
Mhm.
approaching it, so to speak,
Yeah. Mhm.
because Leben was different from Corley. Corley's mentality was a little bit different, even though he was a boxer and that was his thing, the
Right.
whole time.
Mhm.
He really didn't look at it that way. I was like, you know, he was like, no, I just went right at him because it's a fight. It's not boxing match.
That's
So
true. But then I think that's why
that's what he was
guys are
saying.
gassing out so quickly.
Yeah.
They gas out super fast is because they throw
Yeah.
they front load their fight, right? They front load everything in the beginning of the first round. And that might be a good tactic for guys too. Is like, hey, let them front load, right? And let them figure it out. But according to my fighter, he might not. He's saying he might kind of take his time, which is not going to be a good move for him, because then if I front load, I can maintain that front load. My style of fighting is just forward all day. And so I can drive that. I can drive the fight. I like to drive fights most of the time anyway. So I'm probably use the first round to figure that out. See what kind of what would be ideal, because it seems like I'm wondering if it's just the contact of somebody's punch onto someone's face that slows them down, or the worrying of getting hit or hurting yourself while getting hit. So that's all the things that I should be able to adjust and figure out in the first round or in the first few seconds to know, like, okay, will I where is the deficiencies at, or where should I focus my attention, in regards to the cardio aspect, and my mind controlling my cardio, and stuff like that. So it is a lot to think about, but I've noticed in my career, the less I think about, the better I do. And so I haven't really just focused too much about the technical side. I'm just gonna be the John that most people is used to seeing, just without gloves now. You know what I mean? A little bit better technical boxing. I got really good contact now. My timing is much better now. My head movement and my feints, all of those things are so much better than it's ever been. Like my stand up is way better than it's ever been now, especially just focusing on boxing, just boxing for like the past year. And that's great. So
What did you think about their last show? I mean, it got a lot of attention with Perry and Rockhold and McGregor and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it was an eye opener to me with what happened to Luke Rockhold, because Luke Rockhold is clearly the better boxer. If he didn't break his teeth, I think he would have done a really good he would have done really well. But that is something to be aware of, like these wild looping hooks and all that kind of stuff. I gotta be mindful of. So it just reminded me, like, okay, you gotta block some shots. You can't be just taking shots, like I normally would with MMA or with kickboxing. So it just reminded me, like, hey, let's not bring no teeth. So I'm hoping that I don't have to go to no dentist after this match.
Yeah, or getting
So, yeah,
cut,
that was good.
you know.
Yeah, getting cut too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one too. Yeah, I was very like really looking forward to the what's it called, Chad Mendes fight, and that was a really good match. Like I was really pleased with that match. I think that's where I'm trying to kind of head in regards to their styles. They're really good MMA fighters. The way that they fight MMA is the way that they boxed bare knuckle. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm hoping to be able to do, is just bring what I've learned and done all these years and just transfer it over.
I still
Yeah.
think some guys don't want to do it a lot though. Like Eddie Mendez did like 1 or 2 fights and he's
Yeah.
saying he's done. I think Eddie, I don't know if he's going to come back. Mike
Yeah. That was.
Perry, I think he's resurrected his career doing this stuff.
Yeah.
He was kind of up
Sure.
and down in the UFC.
Mhm.
Now he's Mike Perry, bare knuckle,
Yeah.
the face of bare knuckle, sort of.
No, that's true.
Venom Page, he had 1 fight. I don't know if he would
Yeah.
want to do that again because he fought Perry,
Yeah.
you
Did he
know.
only fight once? He did pretty well too. I know he got dropped, I think, but it wasn't like a heavy like drop, but nonetheless he got dropped, and I think that might have kind of discouraged him.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I think they need to come back. It is definitely I think this is so. What I talk about to a lot of my fighters is that boxing is at like its pinnacle, right? Like what Floyd Mayweather has done. There's not really more that can be done to boxing, right? There's no more improvement that can be done to boxing. You can tighten up a little bit. You got your Floyd Mayweather, you have your Miguel Cotto, and you have your Lomachenko. Like those three is like the ceiling of boxing when it comes to technique, style. Mayweather, what's his name as well? Oh yeah, just those three. I think they're like the ceiling of boxing when it comes to technique, new ways of boxing, all that kind of stuff. Now with bare knuckle, it's a whole different game. So people can figure out different ways of boxing. I think a good example is that guy named Allen, the one that fought the person that I fought. I think he kind of figured out the bare knuckle boxing thing pretty well. You know what I mean? Hit and not get hit, good head movement, a lot of fades and all that kind of stuff. I think he's a really good example of someone's trying to pioneer this bare knuckle boxing game and really figure out the game. Because right now, all you seeing is sluggers, right? Just
Mhm.
swinging for the fences, hoping and praying. Whereas Allen, he was really methodical and very thoughtful of all his shots. And so that's where I'm kind of trying to lead, but with a little bit of boxing, excuse me, a little bit of brawling as well. I want to keep the fans excited. So yeah, that's basically where I think it's gonna go. There's a lot of room for improvement in bare knuckle right now. There's not really a good, like a like I know people will say what's his name is the face of bare knuckle, but is he? You know what I mean? Is Tyler Perry the face of bare knuckle boxing, or is he just
Not
the
Tyler
thing
Perry,
right now?
Michael
You know what I
Perry.
mean? Michael Perry, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. But you know what I mean? So I don't think he's really figured out the art yet. He's just street fighting, and there's a lot of room. The ceiling is up here, and the fighters are still down here. They're still figuring out this bare knuckle boxing game.
Right.
So it's I think Chad Mendez is really close. though. He really
Yeah, I
looked
think
good.
he looked good too,
He's
but now he
really
wants to
close, really
retire
close.
already.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
kind
like,
of like,
dang, that was a bummer because he really
yeah,
looked really good. Even his
yep,
first match, that was like he really like, damn. I thought he was
right.
135, and I was so happy he was only 155. I was like, okay, good. I don't have to worry about that guy.
Yeah,
But
he's
yeah, he
quick,
he really, yeah,
explosive.
he's
You know,
really really good. So yeah, yeah,
it's interesting. I mean, I think some of the guys who aren't well known, they're the ones who keep coming back and doing it over and over. But I think
yeah.
some of these bigger name guys, they're kind of like, I did it, but I don't know how many times I want to do it, kind of thing.
I know. I'm hoping that I will have a few matches. I would love to uh try to capture some kind of status and ranking in this event because I definitely feel like I can. I just got to stay focused and really put my pedal on my the pedal to the metal on this and really focus and drive this as far as I can, just like I did with my amateur. The other thing is I don't have to worry about kicks. I don't have to worry about injuries on my legs and all that kind of stuff. So I feel so happy and excited that I can do something that I enjoy and not have to worry about the monotical injuries that I've got previously.
And it's the first fight, right?
And it's my first fight. Yeah, and I'm
No, I
gonna be
mean
the
the
first
first
fight.
fight on the card.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm not sure why they did that, but I was the first fight of the prelim, the first fight of the main card, and they just changed it, which is kind of a bummer because I got a handful of sponsors and they're hoping to be seen on the main card, but I'm not sure what made them move us. We'll find out hopefully soon. But hey, if I got to, I can enjoy the fights after. So maybe I can take some photos as well. I don't know. I gotta ask somebody.
Now, Colin wasn't able to make it. Is that a big deal or?
Um, it is. It was. It's a huge. It was. Yeah. It was. It sucks. My original coach. I think that would have been a really good, epic story to tell. And now we're not able to. I think the individual that started me off, I felt like it was a very honorable thing to do is bring my coach back and you know kind of build him up, help him, allow him to build me back up into the star that he helped me become in Hawaii. I think he could have done that in this event. So yeah, I don't know. It definitely won't break me. It's definitely something I wish he was there. But it's all good. I got my brother here, so next best thing. You know what I mean? Mhm.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, as we're kind of wrapping things up, what's
Mhm.
something that like people who maybe haven't seen you before, obviously people outside of Hawaii maybe haven't yet, uh, something what they can expect and maybe something that you want to leave the interview on or.
So one thing that what's his name, Falanico Vitale, mentioned a long time ago, and I didn't even realize that I was doing that. But I had a fight with a guy named I think Rita Kashi. I think that was his name. I did kickboxing, and that entire fight, like I was so on my p's and q's, and all the years of people calling me like this door, where I never moved, besides swinging left and right. I figured out how to move my head and really counter and all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that this fight will be a brawl in which I'm brawling and not getting touched. So like he said, he called me the Matrix, and I'm hoping that that will be the highlight of this fight. I'm hoping that I'm gonna open some eyes and really start elevating the game of bare knuckle boxing to show them that there's a different way of brawling, exciting the fans, right? And brawling and boxing at the same time. I'm trying to put on a show. I don't want to be the best fight of the night because I don't want to get damaged up, but I want to leave this fight in which people remember my name for sure. Just like how I did in Hawaii. I want to continue to be in the underdog. I enjoy being the underdog. I'm not sure if I am or not, but if I am, then I enjoy that. I feed off of that, and yeah, I definitely look forward to that for sure.
And it's live on YouTube, right?
It should be. That's what I was told. It's gonna be live on YouTube, Instagram, and on the BKFC app. My fight is at 8 p.m. It should be 8 p.m. prompt. That's Eastern Standard Time. I think it's 2 p.m. Hawaii time, and I'm not sure what an hour. So it's 7 p.m. your time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm, mhm. Yeah. So I'm very excited for that, man. That's gonna be fun. Finally, I'm getting back into the ring. You know what I mean? Very, very excited.
Yeah, well, John, I wish you good luck, man, and it's gonna be interesting to see you back in there. And just wish you good luck and everything turns out well for you.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Well, I appreciate you having me. Yeah. I just give shout out to my boys. What's it called? Misguided individuals, Lucky Owl, Top Tiger Boxing, and anyone else that's supporting me. I appreciate you guys. I know that there's a lot of people that's supporting me that's back home. A lot of my support, most of my support is in Hawaii. And I also created a new family out in Charlotte, a new Ohana in Charlotte. So that's pretty nice. And I appreciate all the people that's gonna come out and support my fight this coming Friday. So yeah, thank you again. Thank you for having me for sure. And we'll definitely talk once this fight is over.
Yeah, it was great catching up with you again, man.
For sure. Thanks, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yep. All right. Take care, brother.
Okay.